Hello everyone, I'm back with another video here, and in today's video we have an Xbox Series S. Right in here is a black edition, or there's a white and black, not edition I guess. And the problem here with the client brought it in is because of damaged HDMI port. As you can see right in there, this corner of all the pins in the inside HDMI, right there, you can see all those pins on the side, they're all damaged. So this is not repairable. We have to change the whole entire HDMI port. And the reason is they put the HDMI probably in, or you just pull it sideways. So these pins right in here, these are damaged pins. So we're gonna remove this one. I'm gonna show you step by step how to remove it and how to replace it. So I'm gonna go over the tools that I'll be using for this service. Tool number one, a good screwdriver set. It's very must. This is an iFix screwdriver set, as they have one of the best bits out there. We are going to use this screwdriver set, and we are going to use an alcohol, isopropylic or isopropylic alcohol, to remove the heatsink in case we need to. We do need it because HDMI, we probably won't need to, because if it's really on the way, we might have to remove the heatsink, but if not, we're going to leave it. It is good to remove it to do your own repaste. You can watch my repaste videos if you want to know how to repaste. Right, but we're gonna have it handy in case we need it. We do need alcohol isopropyl to clean the flux. A workshop towel, one or two sheet of the workshop towel. This is a must, because once you put an alcohol on the components or on the towel and you want to clean the motherboard, this will rip apart, but it will not damage the components or capacitors, anything on the board. So this is a good combination right here. And a spatula, and you will need tweezers. Flat, curved, straight tweezers, whatever you can get your hands on. And you're gonna need a solder station, heat gun, and I'll show you that once we get into it. So first we're gonna open it up. To open it up, first we need to, on the back, remove these two labels down here. These are the screw labels. You can download it. Yeah. You can remove it by pointing underneath. And just bring it up. It's just a sticker. There we go. Now these are torque screws. These are torque number 9, I believe. Let me double check that. I have a torque number 10. Let me see. Torque 10 is big, so it is number 9. Torque number 9. So there's a torque number 9. We're gonna remove these two screws at the back. Okay, now. Alright, there's one. The screws are the same size and height. Alright, now we're gonna slide the bottom cover towards the back and take it out. You can take it outside and clean it in case you want to. Alright, down here, we're gonna remove all the screws. You can take out a Sharpie to know which screw goes where. There's two types of screws, literally 3, but if you want to remove the heatsink bracket, but we're gonna leave, we don't need to remove it. So 3 of them. In the black one, only 4 of them. It goes on the X clamp right in here. These green ones are the longest screws. So I usually don't mark them because it's really obvious. But the longest screw goes all the way down in there, and it stays just about that high. And these other screws, that's really tough. There it is. So these screws are really short, so you know it goes right in there, so it stays right in there. But if you want to put a short one in here, it will not do anything, just stay there. And obviously if you put the long one in here, it just doesn't go through. So it's obvious which screw goes where, and the black screw only goes in the screw hole where the black screws are. So let's get into it. Let's go ahead and remove the green screws first. I'm gonna fast forward this part. Alright, now that we remove the green ones, we're gonna remove the rest. I don't know why they're so tight. The screws for the bottom cover are the same as the outside, the torque number 9. So I didn't mention that, it's the same. Alright, we're gonna remove these screws too. We remove the black screws too. The reason I had the Sharpie here, for those people that they want to know, they can just mark it, write it down, whatever you want, so you know which screw goes where, but it's really obvious. You don't need to be marking them. And once you remove this one here, you want to put it in this position, this bottom facing you. You want to grab it like this, and with your thumb, you want to open these sides over, because there's a motherboard right here, there's a board right in here, and it will tangle on this one. So as you open it up like this, you want to grab this one and with 2 fingers, bring it towards yourself. So, and once you skip halfway through, then you can just grab it and pull it out. So take it outside and clean it up. But this is not a cleaning video. Now we're gonna remove 3 screws for this front end, 1 screw for the side, and 3 screws on the Wi-Fi side. So go ahead and remove all these screws. There we go. Once we remove the screws for all this, we're just gonna gently lift it up, wiggle it around. Don't yank it from this side up, otherwise you're gonna break the jack. Grab it from both sides, bring it up straight. Same here. Just grab it straight. Don't yank it from this side. Straight up. Same thing here. Use forehand. Bring it up straight. All right. Now we're gonna put it down. Remove the top cover. Bring it up. Down here we got the power unit and the fan unit right in here. The power unit comes up straight. You want to grab it, bring it up straight. There's a 2 connector that goes right in there. There's a thermal putty. It's been squished to the outside. You can just grab it like this, bring it to the center, and leave it like that. When you squish it back in, it just squishes right in there. That's for the expansion card. If you put expansion card, it does get hot, so that way it can dissipate right through there. We are going to disconnect the fan by wiggling around this fan unit. Just wiggle around and it will come out. This fan comes up straight. Take it outside, blow some air and toothbrush and clean it up. And we got the unit down in here. And I can see the HDMI right in here. We could work with it, but it's gonna get in the way. We want to solder it probably, so it's best to remove it. But we need to remove this lock right in here. You have to open it up a little bit and then wiggle around and it will come. Open up the back side. You don't actually need this lock, just remember. Just you need to open it a little bit more and it comes out. Now grab it from here and bring it up from the front end and slide it towards yourself. There's an SSD right in there and thermal putty right there. Again, this thermal putty, I don't know why it goes all around. Bring it to the middle. Right there. You see this concentration? It's just like a bleeding from thermal pad or thermal putty is bleeding. It's not conductive. So people are like, oh, it's like a water in it. It's not water. It's just it's not conductive or anything like that. It's just like it's called a bleeding from thermal pads or thermal putty. So we're gonna put this on the side. We need to remove this X clamp in here in order to remove the heatsink from here. To remove this X clamp, we're gonna use a pokey screwdriver to poke it into. I just took a screwdriver, I just file it down to make it pointy. So you're gonna stick it right at the back, right in there. And I'm just working myself and I gently bring it up and it will escape. Once you did this side, you left it, you want to do opposite side. In here, gently, work, just make another movement and it will come out. Do the same thing in there. There we go. There. Now, the last one, you want to slide it gently. Be careful with this plastic. When you put it down, you don't want to damage the capacitor. So you want to put it down straight. I'll go over that when you put it back together. Now grab it and point like that, bring it up. Thermal putty, again, is push them on the VRAMs. And the thermal paste in the middle, it is dried up. We're gonna clean it up. I'm gonna reapply. Now this way we have a better position on changing this this HDMI port right in here. I'm gonna go to another station and we're gonna prepare this one to replace. And for the I'll leave the link for HDMI port. You can purchase yours. I have 2 of them right now, and it looks like this. And there's a connection inside. It's nice and new, brand new. Now we're gonna put that one in there. We're gonna remove this one. So let's go to the solder station and work on this one. We are gonna take our alcohol and our workshop towel. All right, now that we are in here, I got my solder station, my heat gun. Again, just a simple heat gun is good to have around the house. You have your solders, to solder cleaning, and some flux. And solder paste is a 130-degree solder, low temperature paste. And if you want, you can get a solder station. A portable one. This is a TS100 digital, and it's good to have. So I'm gonna turn that one on. So you're gonna have it. And I have a foil tape. It just with an adhesive. We're gonna isolate around, all around here. We want to isolate the other components. So let me just cut it down a little bit from the middle. Conserving materials when you have your own shop. You don't want to put extra stuff to waste. So I'm protecting the port on the other side. So I don't want to, maybe you want to heat it up, I don't want to damage the port on this side. There we go. Now we're gonna remove this foam. And we are gonna protect it just like that. Just isolating it. Let's remove this thermal putty right in here. You don't want to put it straight right in here like that. You want to put it offset where these 4 points finish. You want to put it right there. But you don't want to heat up anything on the other side. And we are going to keep it like this. Now, I am going to heat it up over, and then we are going to heat it up underneath. We are going to put a little bit of flux right on these 4 legs right in here. Let's remove this grounding, this foam thing here. So put a little bit of flux on these 4 legs right there. And we are going to put a lot of flux, just jam it right on those HDMI legs at the back. And some on the side legs. So what we're going to do right now, I'm going to grab a little bit of my low temp flux, solder. I'm going to put it right there. And let's go ahead and clean up this. I'm going to grab a low temp solder. There we go. We are going to apply them right on the legs right in here. So we're mixing the old solder with the new one. So when we heat it up, it comes out much faster. So you don't need to apply extra heat. So you're mixing those. Hold it there for a few seconds on each leg. Make sure it absorbs nicely the new flux in there. There we go. Now you want to do the same thing on the pins right in there. I'm applying flux right on the legs on the back and on the side legs too. Supports, well, that's what they are called. This one extra step that we're doing is gonna make life much easier once you heat it up. Alright. Now this is the tricky part, is that I need some elevation. I'm gonna put some wood in here because I'm gonna heat it up from the bottom side too. So I'm gonna heat it up from down there probably. So let me see, I'm gonna put it right on top of the wood, so in here. Alright, so I'm gonna grab my nozzle. We're gonna set the heat station to 400, heat at air at 7, and we're gonna start heating it up. We're hitting the back side towards the front, just like that, and we're moving around in a half circle so we heats up everything. I didn't bring my tweezers to lift it up. Let me go grab my tweezers. So we're gently trying to see if it's loose enough so we can lift it. I'm gonna heat it up from the bottom too, because it's not budging out. There we go. And it is out. So there we have the. Now we're gonna turn off that one. You're gonna bring it gently down. Where do I put? Be careful, it's really hot. You don't want to touch this old one. Now I'm gonna put this wood right underneath, and we're gonna clean up this one. We're gonna open up the, remove the old paste, and prepare the space to clean up with a new one. So we have a wick, desoldering wick. We're gonna cut the old part, and what I like to do with the desoldering wick is to dip it inside the flux, so that way it absorbs nicely the old solder. So what are we gonna do right now? We're gonna put the soldering wick right on top, and we are just holding it up for a few seconds, and it's gonna absorb and open up the passage, the holes right for the HDMI support. The PCB board is really thick, so it's kind of not easy to. This one even goes up to 480 Celsius, but it's still not enough to heat it up to remove the solder in there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab a little bit of solder on the tip. I'm gonna add right inside this. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna heat it up with a heat gun. While I'm heating up with a heat gun, I'm gonna remove it with a wick. While it's heating it up, I'm gonna just wait for it to heat up, and I'm gonna start desoldering it. And it's gonna be much, much easier. There we go. So mixing with a heat gun, heating up the PCB and desoldering at the same time is the best way to do it. That way all the pins are opened up in there nicely. You can see even through them. The light shines it through. And now we're gonna all just prepare the pins. Preparing the pins is the same way, pretty much. Okay, we are gonna just move that solder right over the pins. There we go. Now we're gonna clean the workspace in here. So we're gonna put an alcohol. And we're gonna use a workshop towel. And we're just gonna gently rub in there. Always keep your workplace clean this way. You don't have the old paste in there. Old paste is burned out, so you see this one rips apart, but it doesn't damage those tiny capacitors, resistors right there. So there we go, nice and clean, and nice and clean. So we're going to prepare those pins right there. What we're going to do, we're going to apply a little bit of the flux right on the pins. You can apply on the supporting legs too, because we are going to solder it in. All right. Now, what I like to do with this new ports, I like to put a little bit of flux right on top here. Just on the pins, not on the side pins. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a low temperature solder. A little bit. I'm just going to prepare the pins. I'm just going to put a little bit on top. Just sliding them right in there. Just doing some sliding. Gently like this. And you can put more flux in there. Now that this one is ready, we're going to prepare the pin. Same thing. Grab a little bit of the low melting solder. And we are going to apply on the pins. I don't know if it's focusing or not, but we just applied a little bit of the flux, solder right on the pins, low temperature. Now we're going to grab the port and we're going to set it right on top. And what are we going to do right now? We're just going to heat it up from the bottom. It doesn't fall off, it will be nice. Come back here. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to heat up the board and then I'm going to place this one on top. So I don't want to heat up this plastic. So I'm going to heat up the old solder right there for about 10, 20 seconds or 30 seconds. You'll see the color change on the solder, then you know. So we're just going to put it right on top. And we are going to heat it up a little bit while we're pushing it down. And we're just going to let it sit there for 20 seconds so it cools down. And you can see all those pins underneath. They're nicely sitting flat. And we are going to put a little bit of the flux on the side, on the legs. And we are going to flip it over. A little flux right in there. And on the supporting legs, we're going to put a regular flux, a regular solder. We can put a bit of solder from the sides. Now the pins are soldered in, everything, and we put a solder at the back side. And all is good. Double check with a magnifying glass if you have to just double check, make sure all the pins, every single one pin, it's soldered. I use a simple eyeglass to watch it, to look at it. So what we're gonna do right now, we are gonna remove while it's warm, not hot. When it's warm, we're gonna remove all this tape that we have. But once it cools down, it's kind of hard to remove them. We're going to apply alcohol, enough, and we're going to use a toothbrush to just brush and clean up the old flux. There we go. You're gonna do the same thing in here. And everything looks just like new. The port, everything, it's in place. All right, we're gonna go assemble and we're gonna test it out. And it's in there, it's steady, and I cannot remove it. Now that we're here, we're gonna remove the thermal paste. We're gonna apply a little bit of alcohol in there, and we're just gonna clean up the crystal die. All you wanna do, clean up the crystal die. You don't need to clean up the rest of the component around it. As long as you clean the crystal die, you're fine. Same thing goes in here. Remove the old paste that just cracks down. Just shake it down. We're gonna grab our new thermal paste. I'll be using an MX4. We're gonna put one line in the middle, right there. And we are gonna put the heatsink over. Just remember this one goes over here. You can see the VRAM shapes. What I like to do, I'll put this one down. I'll put this over, make sure I align it. I'll bring it down. And we're gonna grab the X clamp. We're gonna clamp one side first, right there. We're gonna bring it straight over the hole. I gotta see through here. And then I'm gonna push it down, push down really hard. It will click in. All right, now we got that in there. You're gonna grab the base. You're gonna put it in a 45-degree first, the USB port, the HDMI port in first, and then drop it down. And make sure this plastic tool on the front, it comes out of here. All right. Now you're gonna grab the fan. If you cleaned yours, I haven't done any cleaning on this one, but you should do cleaning for yours. So we're gonna grab this power unit. Make sure this two connector goes right through here. Bring it straight over. And just align it and press it down. You're gonna feel that thing just goes in. All right, once we are down here, we are gonna grab this side port. We're gonna put them in, the power on. And let's go ahead and put this bracket in here. If you don't put the bracket, it's not the end of the world. Put the connector right in there. The side panel. You could put the screw, but what I'm gonna do right now, first we're gonna test it out. Before we put anything on and put any screws, we're gonna connect the HDMI out. You can see nice and clean. So you're gonna plug in our HDMI. And I got my screen right over here. So let's open up the screen. And I don't know if it's powered on or not. It should be powered on. And let's grab ourselves the power unit. I don't know if it's red, so let's go ahead and power it on. And it does power on. And let's see if we get any image. There we go. And there we got image right there. And everything is fine. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna hold down the power button for a few seconds. Hold it for 5 to 6 seconds. And it will shut down. And there we go. Now we tested fine. So you don't have to put the everything together in order to test it. Just put the side panels and that's fine. Put the cover right on top. And let's go ahead and put the screws right in there. First, let's put the front screws and we're going to go under and we're going to put the rest. Again, if you guys like this video and helped you guys out, you can support the channel by clicking that like and subscribe. I'll greatly appreciate it. It helps and motivates me to make more videos, help out in the comment area. I appreciate that. So I'm going to fast forward this part a little bit. So what I'm doing, I'm putting the 3 screws and the side panel screws, and I'm going to show you how to put it inside the box. now that we put all this together, what you want to do in here is to grab it, the box and the front panel just like this. You want to bring it in just about 45 degrees. Now you see I cannot close it because of these hinges right in here, and this one, it just grabs it from the board. I can damage the board. So what I need to do is to open it up and push it in, and once it's in there, just a little wiggling around, and once I get the mid back, open it up and close it, open it up and close it, make sure it's in there. This button does the click, that one does the clicking sound. So we're pretty much almost done. What we want to do down here is to put the screws for the CPU clamp right in the middle. There are 4 of them, and then they put the green ones and the chrome head or the yellow screws on top. Always make sure that these X clamp screws, they go in all the way and nicely tighten it up, not extra, but tighten up. So that pulls up the CPU towards the heatsink. And that's why it's important that you tighten up the screws for this one. The rest, you don't have to go crazy. Just this 4 screws, you want it to be nicely tight. Oh, there we go. Now, this 2 is from the bottom cover. So let's go ahead and put the rest of the screws. All right, now that we put all the screws, we're going to grab the bottom cover. You want to put it in an offset position a little bit. We're going to slide it back. And to finish it off, you just put the last 2 screws on the back. Again, I hope you guys like this video and helped you guys out. If you have any question or requests, feel free to leave them in a video comment. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next videos. And this is how you replace your HDMI port for your Xbox Series S model.